be in that range,
budget,
which
right.
is what they call low budget.
Listen, China, we just want to stop right here for a minute.
Yeah.
We have some guests in our audience who would like to get some questions about you and your work and just anything.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, Ms. Clark. How do you like being a professor at City College?
Well, I absolutely love teaching at City College. I have the most wonderful students, and we're developing about 40 or 50 marvelous scripts. And what I love about it is that each one of the scripts, they're all different, full of creativity. And for me, you know, this is the hope of the future. So when we see movies and we see television shows, we see all this individual vision.
Okay. We have another question? Okay.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about people sending scripts in to like your agency.
Yes.
Should they be copywritten? Should people go through that process of doing everything? Cause
Absolutely, absolutely. You should always copyright it with Washington or the Writers Guild. But by law, once you write a script, it is yours. You own it. There is a natural copyright that says you own it.
Yes, but what about this incident where the movie Coming to America, the writers said that Eddie Murphy had stolen his concept, and that happens, you hear it a lot. If you send something in and somebody reads it and then a year later it's your script with a little bit of changes in it, what's that about?
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't think Eddie Murphy actually took that and stole it. You know, I think that in Hollywood, the ideas go around and around and around. And I think when you see or hear of so many ideas, something similar may slip into your work. But I'm not saying that people don't, you know, actually steal. But that's why when you see one movie, you see about 3 or 4 movies exactly like it. It's almost like we all had the same idea at the same time.
Okay, I personally, professionally, I never thought about it. But I guess if you got 10,000 people writing, some of the ideas are bound to be the same. And I think somewhere they said there's only 17 storylines anyway. Some 20 or something, and you kind of like juggle them around and that kind of thing.
And they go on constantly.
Right.
So what I think is that, you know, I don't know how Eddie got the idea or...
We want to talk about his. That was just an example.
All right, that's
we don't want to get on that one, but I know he went to court and they did that. And I think this young man was kind of concerned about how can you keep somebody from stealing your work.
Yes, but I just want to say, don't be so afraid that someone's going to steal that you don't produce out and do it. But always Washington Copyright or Writers Guild.
It's amazing. You have one more question here?
Yes. Is there a specific structure that one must follow when writing a screenplay?
Yes, there is a specific structure, and I think what we need to do is we need to learn everything we can about screenplay and teleplay form and format and structure. You know, it's all right for us to write our ideas down, but before we start to say, well, you know, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a teleplay writer, we should learn all there is to learn about the form. We should master the form.
So how could you do that? I mean, here I am, a working mother. I have 2 kids. I want to write. I have all these ideas in my head. I can't afford to come to college. I don't have the time. What could I do?
All right, there are some really wonderful night classes in New York that they give for screenplay, teleplay writing. I've had one going for about 10 years right here in New York, really reasonable, where you can go and you can learn the fundamentals of screenplay and teleplay. There are some wonderful books.
I was about to say, what about books?
Yes, there's wonderful books, you know. Go to your bookstore and go to the screenplay, teleplay, writing section. And just get all the books that you can possibly get. And they're wonderful books, and they really teach you the form.
What about, where do you see yourself and your company in another 5 or 10 years?
All right, where I see my company, China Lights Pictures, is that in 5 years we've produced at least 4 movies.
Okay.
And that I'm living between New York and Berlin.
How did you happen to get to Berlin?
Well, I was invited there to lecture on screenplay, teleplay writing, and to do my play, Bessie
Smith, okay.
Speaks. And I got there, and I was treated so lovely.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just fell in love with the city.
Okay.
You know, I went to the Berlin Wall, and I saw it's down.
Right, it's
all
down
of
now,
my
right.
life.
Yes.
And who would have thought that?
It would have come down, right? You
So
never
I mean,
know.
I was just so inspired that
right.
tyranny was leaving the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just love this city. It's
Okay.
a really nice friend.
So, but you'll be commuting instead of
Yes,
from
and
East Coast
what
to
I-
West Coast.
yes,
You'll be at.
what we're doing now is we're getting an apartment now in Berlin, so we're going to have a small office there. Because for what we're doing, Berlin is a really great city to
Okay.
be
All
there
right.
for film distribution, and it's going to be good for
Okay.
China Lights.
All right. I have a book here from UCLA, and the catalog, and it has so many areas. Was not aware that there was such things as getting a certificate in comedy. All right, comedy writing. Was not aware of all the music, the electronic music you can get a certificate in, and public relations and publishing as it has to do with the entertainment industry. All of these careers that do not talk about the person who's in front of the camera. And I was wondering if you could give us some input as to where you see African Americans behind the camera in the creative process, but also in the decision-making process. Because, you know, once you write something and somebody purchases it, you have a limited kind of control over it.
Yes.
Where do you see African Americans in terms of the decision-making process in the entertainment industry
Yes,
worldwide?
I see them developing, either writing their own scripts or developing those scripts, and I see them producing,
Okay.
getting distribution for films, and I think in order to get, you know, the power, and I don't mean power in a negative sense.
No, I mean the power to make a
show,
decision about what's...
really make decisions,
Right.
show positive images. You must do it yourself.
Well, you know, somebody said to me some time ago that a producer, and a lot of times our youngsters don't know what producing means,
Yes.
but somebody said you get a chicken farmer who has a lot of excess money, and he wants to invest in something, and you convince him to invest in your project. In
Yes.
other words, you need money from people who have the money there,
Yes, you do.
extra money, let's say, not the rent money, the food money, but to invest in your project, and you're going to watch that money for that person, and hopefully there's a return made on it.
Yes.
And the reason for that, let's say if you don't make money on it, this particular farmer will not be out of pocket money, because this is the money he had money that's laying around. Is that kind of the definition of producing, the person who goes out and gets money?
Yes, but as I see myself as a producer, but money is just one part of it. First,
Okay.
you have to come up with the right material. You know, you come up with the right material, and you don't need a lot of money to start with that. But then you have to get in the process of getting money. And that is the difficult part, of course.
Okay.
So you have to really get it from people who
But,
can afford
right, if you get the money now, let's say I'm going out and I'm canvassing my friends and businesses to get this money,
Yes.
do I need a legal team and an accountant or CPA firm
Yes.
to put this money in the proper place and divide up the profits once they come in?
Yes.
And to show how much money I have spent for each
Absolutely.
each
You need
line.
your accountant, you need your lawyer. And this is where, you know, my lawyer is a black woman. And so my associate producer is a black woman.
Okay.
So
We're doing it.
you were doing it.
Okay,
yes.
great. Listen, China, so glad you could come.
Thank you.
We wish you much luck with your Bessie Smith project.
Thank you.
We hope that you raise your $10 million so you can get it going.
All right.
And we're glad to see you and come back again.
Thank you.
Okay? All
Thank you
right.
so much.
This is Hattie Fishburne, entertainment careers and show business from New York City.